The NBA playoffs are here, and this year it's wide open. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the favorites, but that also means it's championship or bust. In the East, the Detroit Pistons are the number 1 seed, but all eyes are on Cade Cunningham's health. If he's not 100%, they could be out early. The Celtics look dangerous. The Knicks are under pressure, and the Hawks might be the sleeper team nobody wants to face. Out west, well, it's chaos. Lakers are dealing with major injuries to Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves, so now it's all on LeBron. Spurs are rising fast behind Victor Wembanyama, and the Nuggets still have Nikola Jokic, who can take over any series. And don't forget the play-in: Warriors, Clippers, Heat fighting just to survive. So here's the question: is this the Thunder's league now? Or is the NBA more unpredictable than ever? The NBA postseason is officially here, and this year it feels wide open. We've got 20 teams still alive in the play-in tipping off this week, and a finals race that might come down to health, depth, and who gets hot at the right team. Let's start in the East, Frank.
Yeah, the surprise of the season, the Detroit Pistons, number 1 overall seed with 60 wins out of 82 opportunities. This team is built on defense and toughness, led by Cade Cunningham, who's finally playing like a franchise superstar. But here's the catch: he's coming off a serious injury. And in the playoffs, if your best player isn't right, nothing else really matters. Right behind them, the Boston Celtics look like the most complete team in the East. Jason Tatum is back. Jaylen Brown is playing at an elite level, but their front court depth is a real question. Then there's pressure, real pressure on the Knicks, not by the Knicks, on the Knicks. They didn't build a roster to, quote unquote, compete. They built it to win. If Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns do not deliver, there could be major changes. And keep an eye on the Atlanta Hawks, who the Knicks are going to have to face in the first round. One of the hottest teams in basketball. They flipped their entire identity midseason, and now they're a legitimate upset threat.
Now to the Western Conference, and this is where things get real. The defending champion, the Oklahoma City Thunder, are the clear favorites. Best net rating in the league, best defense, and led by MVP level Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And for them, it's simple: championship or bust. Right behind them, the San Antonio Spurs, powered by Victor Wembanyama. When they've been dominant, and they have been dominant, but this is their real first playoff test. Can their fast-paced style survive when the game slows down? And then there's chaos in the middle. The Los Angeles Lakers are in serious trouble. Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves are hurt, which means everything falls on LeBron. And that's not necessarily a recipe for success in 2026. At this stage in his career, asking LeBron to carry a team through a playoff series, that's kind of a massive gamble for the Lake Show. Meanwhile, the Houston Rockets, led by Kevin Durant, are dangerous, but closing games has been a real issue. And don't overlook the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic, best offensive team in basketball, but with serious defensive concerns. And then there's the play-in games that start Tuesday, arguably the most unpredictable part of the entire postseason. Teams like the Golden State Warriors, LA Clippers, and Miami Heat out east are fighting just to get in. One game, one shot, win or go home. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up winning in the play-in games to really solidify this NBA playoff bracket.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And it's been a lot of fun to watch this season. I believe we mentioned it on a couple of updates ago that this isn't really it's going to be Golden State and Miami. It's going to be Golden State versus LeBron. It's not like that anymore. This is a real legitimate competitive league now you're really tossed on who can win. And that's always great when you can have every single team in the playoff, when you can give them a legitimate way that they can win. It makes your product a lot more entertaining, a lot more watchable. And of course, as we've known now for the last couple of years, this is the time when the NBA players actually really try to win these games.
Yeah.
So it's going to make it even more crazy and unpredictable.
Yeah, the level of play shoots through the roof. I mean, this is the time where I start tuning into NBA games on a daily basis. But here's the big conversation for a lot of the casual fans, right? It's, people like dynasties. General public likes dynasties. They like to see dynasties play. They like to see teams maybe win a couple of championships, and then they like to see the destruction of dynasties. So are the Oklahoma City Thunder actually a dynasty in the making, or is the West too loaded for them to dominate? Because on paper, they are the best team, but the playoffs aren't about paper. And you've got experience in Denver. You got some star power in LA. You got the rising stars in San Antonio. I still think OKC is the best team, but I don't think they're not unbeatable. And in today's NBA, that's all it takes. One bad series, one injury, one hot opponent, everything changes. I think this might be, and we've talked about this on the last couple of NBA updates, this has to be one of the most wide open fields you'll see in the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Oklahoma City, I think it would need to be, if they don't win the NBA Finals this year, I think you need to at least lose in at least game 6 and then come out like a wrecking ball next year in order to be considered a dynasty, or at least the makings of a dynasty. Of course, that's cemented if they win, that this really is the next dynasty that's going to rule the NBA. But if they don't win, they're gonna have to do a lot. It's gonna have to go deep into the finals, and they're really gonna have to impress coming out of the box next year.
And it all starts this week with the play-in game starting on Tuesday.